Hello?
Yes, Commissioner Scorpio, please. Sergeant Larson at headquarters calling.
This is Mrs. Scorpio, Sergeant. I'm sorry, but the commissioner's tied up at the moment. He's in the middle of a call to England.
Will he be long, do you think?
Well, I've no idea. Is it urgent?
Yes, Mrs. Scorpio, it is. Would you have the commissioner call headquarters as soon as he's through with his overseas call?
Yes, of course. May I tell him what it's about?
Yes, ma'am. There's been an accident. And Captain Ramsey feels the commissioner will want to know about it right away.
I'm sorry dinner's going to be late. I had no idea squash takes so long to bake.
Oh.
How was your call to England?
Well, I talked to the constable in Campbell's village.
And?
Well, he's going to go over to the locksmith, get a copy of the key, then trundle over to Campbell's place and see what it opens. He'll get back to me.
Oh, well, at least you're making some progress. Sergeant Larson called from headquarters. It's important that you call him back.
Oh? What about?
Well, he said that there's been an accident. Ramsey wants you to know about it.
Well, who's involved?
He didn't say.
Scorpio here, Sergeant. What's this all about, an accident? Oh, I see. Where are they now? All right. Look, if Ramsey calls in, tell him you've reached me and I'm on my way. Right.
Do you have to go out?
Got to go. Right now.
What happened?
Well, Ramsey said that something has happened involving Lou and Blackie and that they're in the emergency room at GH.
They've both been injured?
He didn't say. All he said was that I definitely should be there, so I better comply.
It's Lou. Severe trauma to the head.
She's dead.
I'm told that Blackie's involved.
We don't know exactly what happened. I was with a patient at the time, but from what I understand, Blackie was with her, and Frisco and Steffi. At least they were here when the ambulance arrived, anyway.
Blackie keeps saying that it was his fault or he had something to do with it. But he's just saying that because he's out of his head. I mean, he doesn't know.
Where's he now?
Ramsey took them down to headquarters.
Under arrest?
No! At least I don't think so. I think that he just took him to ask him what happened and question.
What's happened? Where's Lou? Is she badly hurt?
Rose, I'm afraid...
No. Rick, don't let him say it. It's not true. Tell me that it isn't true.
Rose, why don't we sit down?
No, I don't want to sit down. I just want you to tell me that Lou's all right.
Rose. Listen to me, Rose. It was an accident. Nurse, will you come with me, please?
Rick, I think you should know that Blackie is claiming all the responsibility for this. He said that here?
Rick, he keeps insisting that it was his fault.
Bert's got him down at headquarters for a bit of questioning. I'm on my way there now.
I'll go with you.
Good idea.
Blackie needs you. He was almost out of his head.
Would you stay here and be here for Rose if she needs? Where's Blackie?
He's standing in there.
Anyone there with him?
He's been in there forever.
Come on.
Oh.
Bert, what the hell is going on?
This, Blackie Paris just signed his confession.
Confession to what?
He says Lou's death was his fault.
It's the kid out of his skull. He's turning an accident into an involuntary manslaughter without even an attorney present.
I'll tell you, that boy seemed obsessed.
Next he'll be acting as his own judge and jury.
Look at this thing. I mean, he confesses to stealing the song which sets up a motive for killing the girl.
Does that stolen song have to be public knowledge?
Of course it does. It's part of the confession. It's an official document. It can be admitted in a court.
Is Blackie still in there?
Yes.
I gotta see him.
Come on.
The prisoner's been told he's under arrest, Captain.
All right. Oh, get those handcuffs off him.
We're following procedures. We have a prison...
Get them off him right now.
Yes, sir. May we book him first?
Yes, yeah, go ahead, book him.
Blackie was kind of agitated at the hospital. Now, did he maintain his attitude when he got here?
Oh, yes, he was agitated and very determined.
You allowed him to make a confession. You also allowed him to sign it.
I literally pleaded with him not to say anything until you got here or an attorney.
Yet he still chose to ignore those pleas. how do you account for that? I mean, Blackie's bright. He must have known what you were saying was for his own good.
Well, of course. If he didn't, I told him 10 different ways. But I don't know, the kid just seemed to be compelled, almost possessed.
Bert, I don't understand. What do you be possessed?
Well, he had this overwhelming desire to confess, to purge himself, and nobody and nothing was going to stop him.
And he maintained his attitude all the way through his story?
It seemed to be a relief for him, even when he had to sign it.
How do you mean, Bert? You've lost me totally.
Again, I told him that he didn't have to sign. I even told him not to sign.
Well, how did he react to that?
He grabbed the pen and he signed it with, I guess I'd say, mixed emotions.
Mixed emotions? How?
Well, one was with great relief and the other was with great vengeance. Yeah, come in.
Excuse me, Captain. Parrish has been processed and assigned to a cell.
Okay, where?
Block B. He's in a cell by himself.
Good.
May I see him?
Yeah, look, we can make an exception in your case, Rick. Lieutenant, take Dr. Weber here down to the cell, will you?
Certainly, Commissioner.
Look, if Rick doesn't have a lawyer for him, I will. I want one here in the morning.
Good.
And he's not to be questioned again tonight, agreed?
Sure, I'll see that he's left alone.
Maybe in the morning he'll calm down a little bit and see things a touch more clearly.
Well, I certainly hope so. Oh, what do you want to do with Steffi Brand?
She made a statement.
No. Nor has the guy who's with her. What's his name, Frisco?
Is she still here?
Sure, she was told not to leave.
All right, let's get her in here and get a statement out of her.
Frisco, too?
No, one at a time. Her first. Maybe she'll say the right thing.
Clear Blackie, you mean?
Not deliberately, but maybe she'll prove that Blackie's blaming himself for something which is completely out of his control. Now, on the record, Miss Brand, are you aware that your statement is being transcribed and that you are giving your account voluntarily, correct?
I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
All right. Now, just tell us, in your own words, please, what transpired earlier this date relating to the accident and the subsequent death of the deceased.
Well, I went into the hotel room, the room that Blackie and Frisco usually work in, and that's where I found Lou.
And what was she doing when you arrived?
She was playing the tape of a song.
Just an ordinary tape of an ordinary song.
No, it was a song that I thought that Blackie had written, but the tape suggested that he didn't write it.
And what happened next?
Well, I got upset, certainly, and so did Blackie. We asked her to give us the tape.
Did she?
No, she refused.
And then?
Well, we argued about it. In fact, we demanded that she give us the tape.
Go on.
Well, things then got a little heated between Blackie and Lou, and then they started to struggle.
Struggle for physical possession of the tape.
Yes.
And what transpired then?
Well, I really don't know. All I know is they started to struggle, like I said, and Lou ended up on the floor.
In what condition?
She wasn't moving.
What did you do next?
I panicked. I freaked out.
Then?
Then I went out of the room and I got Frisco and we came rushing back into the room.
Where the deceased was still motionless on the floor.
Yeah, Blackie was holding her.
Okay, look, let's return to this tape and the song. Were you aware that Blackie had in fact stolen that song?
No, I didn't know for sure. You see, Josh, who's the bellboy, he had said that it was his song. He told me that he wrote it, but I didn't believe him.
Why?
Because that happens all the time in our business. Someone has a hit song, and then there's always a bunch of people that come out from the woodwork claiming to have written it.
But you said earlier that this tape indicated that Blackie hadn't written the song, right?
Yeah.
Where's this tape now?
I assume it's still someplace in the room.
We'll be better organized to have that picked up.
Right away, Lieutenant.
All right. Now, let's get back to Lou's fall here. Did you actually see it?
No, I didn't. Like I said, they were struggling, and Lou ended up on the floor.
Motionless.
Yeah, she wasn't moving.
Yet you didn't think to help her or find out why she was hurt or how she was hurt.
I told you, I went out, and I went to the room, and I got Frisco.
Let's get Frisco in here. That's if you have nothing else to add to this, Miss Brown.
I told you everything I know.
This is an ongoing investigation, and I have to ask you to stay in town and make yourself available for any further questions that we might need. All right?
Of course.
Good. That'll be all for now. Thank you. Off the record for the moment. Your name is Frisco.
That's right.
Is that correct? Right. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you some questions, which will be, well, the answers will be transcribed. Do you understand that?
Well, I'll tell you whatever you want to know, and probably not much, though.
Why do you say that?
Well, I wasn't there in the room. Steph probably told you she had to come and get me in my room.
Did she tell you that Blackie and Lou had been struggling, and that Lou was, well, Lou had fallen on the floor?
I don't really remember her exact words.
Try.
You see, she was in shock. She kept saying, "Come with me," and, so that's what I did.
Back to the room where Blackie and Lou had had the struggle.
Right.
When you arrived in that room, what did you see?
Blackie was sitting on the floor.
Was he sitting on the floor alone? How?
No, he was crying. He was sitting on the floor with Lou, and he had her in his arms, kind of rocking.
Was she conscious?
No, she wasn't moving. Blackie said she'd be all right, and we all thought she would.
But she was far from being all right, wasn't she?
She was dying.
Now, you're at General Hospital when she in fact died. Is that correct?
Well, I left. I left with the others, Blackie.
And after you left the hospital, accompanied by Captain Ramsey here, did Blackie say anything to you?
Well, it wasn't exactly to me. It was. Well, it was to all of us.
What did he say?
He kept saying it over and over.
What was that?
That I did it.
Could you repeat that, please?
Yeah. He kept saying, Lou's dead and I did it. Over and over. He kept saying that.
So I decided not to question any more of them again tonight. Obviously, we're only just getting started.
It's Rose that I feel sorry for. Well, all of them, really. Rick and Blackie, he certainly didn't hurt Lou intentionally.
I have the same feeling. The thing is that Steffi's backed up his story, that Blackie and Lou were struggling when she fell.
What will happen to Blackie now?
Well, nothing for the rest of the evening. In the morning,
I hope you'll realize a few things.
Such as?
that Lou's death was accidental and part of the fall, and that he was emotionally upset at the time of that statement of his, because I have a feeling that's exactly what happened.
Who's representing him?
He's refused a lawyer, but you can be sure that Rick will appoint him one tomorrow.
Does Tiffany know about this yet?
I reached her in New York. When she said, though, that she was coming back tomorrow, I held off telling her over the phone.
Oh, good. It's really awful getting bad news over the phone when you're alone.
Yeah. I decided that I'll go to the airport and break it to her then.
She's going to be devastated. She really loves Blackie a lot.
He's a good kid. We can't let him do this to himself. But the thing is that even if he changes his statement, he's going to have a lot of trouble ahead of him.
You mean the scandal?
Even if Blackie didn't kill Lou, there's still the issue of this stolen song.
Which turned out to be a big hit.
And the fact that Blackie stole it is going to be big, big news.